Oh my.
It's a YouTube channel, yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh my god. That means this is going to be watched in Spears' office.
Oh yes.
Camera is rolling, sound is speeding, and scene pedifte, take one. Hello past Damien, it's the 15th of May 2022 and welcome back to the future. Now as you can see, the setup is a little bit different from what we're used to for the past 2 years-ish of doing this, and that's because first and foremost we have gotten a new lens. It's the Panasonic Lumix 25mm f1.7 and you can tell I'm very excited by that f1.7 because it means, look at this bokeh, look at this bokeh. Look at that. Oh my god. I don't know, I tried to find a way to get the window in the frame and this is the best I could do. But you can finally see what I am excited about. I definitely didn't take a half an hour to put up this entire setup, including the lighting, the framing, the windows, the way to record sound, now that the camera is like way much further than it usually is, but I think we have found a way. It's just a lot more complicated to set up, and will I be using this in the future? I will have to see if I'm willing to go through that effort, but it's good practice for getting back into film because it's something that I haven't touched in a very long time. But I guess the more important thing is, hold on, where's my wallet? We did it. Yes, that time has finally come. We have finally ORD'd. We have reached our operationally ready date and we are finally a civilian and no longer have to wear green. So it's been a few months. Let's get you up to speed on what's happened since we last spoke. First things first, I think the most obvious thing is ROT 3, also known as National Service Transition Training, also known as New Generation Island Defense. We had undergone about 4 weeks of this infantry transitional course to prepare us for what we'll be doing as NS men in the future in reservists. 1 week into the program, basically what happened is that 5 out of 6 of the officers in the company got COVID. Yeah. Our time finally came and 5 of us were just out of commission for 7 days straight, including the first ever outfield. And after about 2 years, it has finally reached us, and honestly it wasn't that bad at all. We had a bit of a sore throat, we had a bit of a fever-ish, but not really fever. Mainly it was the throat and the cough that sucked the most. Also just having to quarantine at home. But I think we're perfectly accustomed to staying in our room for days on end, so I think compared to the rest of the people, it wasn't that big of a hit on us. I spent a lot of the time, I remember, replaying in fact, Cyberpunk 2077. Now that there has been several patches to the game, it's much more stable and you finally feel like you can appreciate the game for what it is. And I did that.
It's blinding me!
Because what else can you do when the bulk of what you have to do is in camp / out in the training area, and you're just stuck at home? You can't really do a outfield through a Zoom call.
Oh, but the best part about quarantine is the quarantine facial hair.
But on the 31st of March 2022, we finally were able to go back to camp and rejoin ROT 3. But what was really cool was on the 29th of March 2022, on a Tuesday, the Singapore National COVID Restriction Guideline thingamajig finally eased up and we were able to mask off outdoors.
Still remember when Moses wanted to bet that masks would no longer be compulsory in June 2021.
And several weeks later, what happens is that the restrictions lifted up even more, so that the group size changed from 10 to infinite. You basically had no more limit on group size when you wanted to plan going outs, etc. Which was incredible because, like, what a time to go into NS, right? You go to NS when circuit breaker kind of hits, the world sort of figures out shit for 2 years, and when you finally ORD, you go back in the world where freedom is almost on its way to being fully restored. And on the 19th of April, our journey in NS officially came to an end. ROT 3 was done, we had completed our milestone parade, and one of the biggest contributions that we managed to contribute to the entire ROT 3 process was to edit the course video, which I'm very proud of, but I can't show it to you. And a lot of people are asking for it. Unfortunately, I can't pass it to them. But I think that shows that it's a great thing because art / whatever medium that we consume, whatever entertainment we watch, should leave us wanting more. And I think that's a sign of a good piece of media well done. You know, standing up really makes me feel like I can gesture more, which is, I don't know, it's a change. Even though like my hands aren't in frame most of the time, I guess I have to sort of like consciously bring them up to my face. And what else has happened since then and now? Well, we did one of the rarest things that we usually never do, which is go drinking with friends. Interesting experience. Would rarely try again. Not only our Rotary and ASR people, but we also managed to catch up with some OCS people, including our old instructor. Within the past month, we've managed to watch 2 films, Everything Everywhere All at Once and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, 2 films which interestingly deal with the concept of multiverse within the main plotline. We saw both twice so far, like each film we've seen twice, and personal opinion, Doctor Strange is the weaker film. Which film is going to win? A $200 million Marvel blockbuster headed by Benedict Cumberbatch or Michelle Yeoh and 2 Daniel boys? Shut the f*** up, motorcycle. And last but not least, currently we are playing a lot of Minecraft with our friends, and we are also doing a gig where we transcribe for our brother for money because we no longer have that sweet NS pay that we took for granted. So we have about 3 months before uni starts, and like you said, we still have no idea how we're going to pay for it yet. That will be figured out eventually and somehow, and we will make it through. So now I want to take some time to just address some of the things that you said in your video, which is, first of all, your thumbnail, which is very interesting because we actually have the actual thumbnail itself as a relic. Second thing, we are still playing Apex Legends somewhat on and off, consistently, inconsistently.
Enemy shield broken.
Throwing arc star. Reloading. Enemy taken down. Enemy shield.
Our highest rank is Plat 4 with the help of one Mr. Raisin. Haven't been able to reach Plat 4 just because I don't really care that much about rank. But season 13 just came out, which is exactly 4 seasons afterwards because each season is about 90 days, about 3 months. So 3 months equals 4 seasons. Yeah, we're here. So there's that.
Reloading. Using grapple.
Enemy shield broken.
Enemy taken down. Watch out or I'll grapple you. Literally.
And we have also sunk quite a few hours into the world of VR. First of all, Half-Life Alyx, which you are going to eventually talk about. We did manage to get past the part we were stuck at because throwing the pipe into the power breaker wasn't the way that we're supposed to solve the puzzle. Shocking. Pun unintended. Secondly, we managed to finish Boneworks, which is even more experimental, complex, and I'm glad that we did Half-Life Alyx first because Boneworks is another entirely different beast to handle, but it was great fun. I think it does a lot of the medium that even Half-Life Alyx doesn't do. And last but not least, Beat Saber on and off, which is quite fun. The first few hours definitely struggle. Wasn't able to look as cool as you think you are able to, but I think once you hit the 10-hour barrier, you really start to get into the groove. You understand how patterns work and your arms naturally just do the things without your brain having to register the motions that you need to carry out. But that's it for me for now. I have a lot of things that I want to talk to you about. I can't possibly fit into one video, otherwise it'll be half an hour long. But that means that I already have things to talk about for the next few weeks, which is great. So hang in there, past Damien. I hope you're doing well, and I will talk to you again next week.